Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything tabletop role-playing games.
And today we were talking about backgrounds in D&D 5th edition.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey Will.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so good.
That's good. I'm glad you're good. I'm also good. Why are you so good?
Because I have a lot of podcasting experience at this point.
You do?
It's given me, I start out with a microphone and a bag to hold on my microphones. And I have electricity
You
to
need
plug
that.
into.
You definitely need that.
Yeah. And like a podcasters guild sort of that I belong to.
The secret podcasters guild that you're not supposed to speak about.
Well, I mean, yeah, they pay us. Am I not supposed to talk about them?
Oh, you mean the network?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about a secret podcasters guild.
No, the network. We will leave ambiguous.
We will leave ambiguous at this moment.
For reasons.
Well, Brian, the patrons have voted.
What?
They continue to have their voices heard.
Those
You
bastards.
You too can have a modicum of control over the words that we say here on the Dungeoncast by becoming a patron and getting in on the topic suggestion threads and voting polls.
They can?
They can.
Where can they do that?
At patreon.com/thedungeoncast.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
You can't go there and give money for your voice to vote with your dollars on the Dungeoncast.
Sure. Today, the choice of topic for us is the third major piece of building a character outside of class and race in D&D 5e. Backgrounds. Backgrounds have been a little neglected here on the show. I think the simplicity of their design and the seemingly smaller effect the choice of background has in comparison to their race and class is a factor for why we haven't tackled backgrounds much. But that changes today. Today, we're going to talk about our favorite backgrounds while also breaking down what backgrounds are, what they're meant to represent, and analyze their design.
Totally. Yeah. I feel like when you character build, you already have your character's background in mind in a story concept. At least I do.
I do as well, but
and then you get to that page in the character builder, and you're like, oh, I have to pick an official one that gives me like extras.
Right. I agree. My experience is the same, but I think there's a lot of people out there that the picking of the background is an important part of how they come up with their character's backstory.
It is. Yeah, I do it by accident, but it is important.
Yeah, it is important without a doubt. So we will be talking primarily about 5e backgrounds as they currently are. I know at this moment in time, the 1D&D playtest is introducing a lot of new ideas to backgrounds amongst other things, but none of that is official in this moment. And we really don't know what we're going to be getting in 2024 and the new core rules books that are coming out next year.
Yeah.
So for now, we're going to stick with the current edition of D&D's rules, though I'm sure other systems such as Pathfinder 2nd edition approach to backgrounds may come up as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be getting back to more of the 1D&D content on here as like things become official in the future.
Yeah, I just like to wait because oftentimes what we get is so different. Like, okay, if we want to go back to the Unearthed Arcanas before 1D&D, all those different Unearthed Arcanas, like so many of those got drastically changed when they became official.
Right,
It just didn't feel right to do an episode about, I mean, it would have just been pure conjecture, which is fun too. But especially during that time, it's like there's so much to cover. It just, I don't know. For me, I don't want to get my hopes up and watch the thing I love get destroyed if I love it.
Yeah, while those episodes are fun, like conjecture episodes are fun, we could cover something concrete instead, and I feel like that's a better use of ours and the audience's time. And
I think
the patrons have spoken.
The patrons have spoken.
They've spoken.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So at character creation, players will choose a class and race for their character, as well as a third major choice point in a background. While a character's race tells us about that character's species and possibly their culture, and a character's class informs us of what a character is capable of and the source of their extraordinary abilities. A character's background, theoretically, reveals where a character comes from, how they became an adventurer, and or their place in the world up to this point. For example, a bard might have been a jester in a court or a wandering oral historian before taking up the life of an adventurer. Both of these backstories may share the class of bard and even be of the same race, but due to their background be wildly different in personality, skill, and more. Choosing a background may not seem to be the most mechanically important of your character creation decisions, even though it is still mechanically important, but it is incredibly important for filling out a fully formed character concept.
Right. I mean, I would argue that like you're gonna need a background regardless of the mechanical implications, but the mechanical stuff is the bonus you get for like attaching to one. You know,
I'd agree with that.
We'll get it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And for those who struggle with in-depth backstories, a background choice can provide you with important story cues about your character's identity, giving you a foundation to build on, as you will. So, and after you have fleshed out the backstory/background, it's time to ask yourself the most important question, connecting the background you came from to the adventurer you became. What changed?
Right.
Why did you stop doing whatever your background describes and start adventuring? And how did you learn the skills of your class? What sets you apart from others who share your background?
Yeah. How did you meet in a tavern?
Yeah, exactly. So out of curiosity, Brian, do you happen to have a favorite background?
Yeah. Hermit.
Hermit.
Yes.
What makes that one your favorite? Just like curiosity.
It gives you, like one, I forget the specific wording, but one thing that no one else know. Like you just know
you have
something
that
random.
discovery, right?
Yeah, it's like some existential bit of information that makes you special from others. The crazy person that lives alone that rants about the Illuminati or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
But
that one
know
stands
that
out
the
for sure.
Illuminati is real
Right, exactly.
because they are.
And
Yeah.
you know it from your hermetic meditations.
Well, I had to become a hermit because
you
me
knew too
existing in
much.
society, knowing about the Illuminati was too crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's like a
That's a
real,
good choice.
Yeah, no, I do like Hermit for that.
Yeah.
I also like Outlander a lot. I feel like that
Outlander's
comes-
the one I get drawn to a lot. That was my second question. Do you have one that you find yourself drawn to? Multiple
Outlander, Soldier.
times? Yeah. For me, Far Traveler is one that I just
Far
end
Traveler's
up with
really
a lot.
good.
I don't mean to. I just do.
Yeah, and then that one's like you're from a different plane of existence or a faraway land. Right?
Yeah, basically.
And then there's one that is it Thief or is it Criminal?
Criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal's a good one.
Criminal.
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the mechanical aspects of backgrounds. What do you actually get when you choose a background? Backgrounds usually are made up of 4 major mechanical components, as well as 4 suggested characteristic tables. The first mechanical component a background gives you are 2 skill proficiencies. At least it's usually 2. I think there may be a couple that give more, but I'm not sure. I don't know why I think that. I just do.
Okay.
There's a tickling in the back of
Probably
my mind that
2.
tells me there's one out there that gives you 3.
Okay.
But I could just be wrong. Generally, a character will receive 2 skill proficiencies related to their background. For example, the soldier gets athletics and intimidation, and the sage gets arcana and history. Some get to choose from a short list as well. The cloistered scholar, for instance, gets proficiency in history skill, as well as a choice between arcana, nature, and religion.
I forgot about Sage. Sage is really cool.
Sage is pretty cool.
I like when my players pick Sage.
Yeah, it's always fun as a DM because it's like that feature only does one thing, and that's dig into that great backstory and world building that you've been working on.
Yeah,
So,
like divulge lore.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And if you already have a proficiency in a skill your background provides, whether from your class or race, a player can choose to replace that skill with proficiency in another skill from the entire skill list. So no worries about inefficient pairings of class, race, and background.
That's nice. You
Yeah,
don't
it's very
just
nice.
get burned.
Yeah. The second mechanical gain from a background comes in the form of utility. Most backgrounds provide some combination of language and tool proficiencies. This can be 1 language and 1 tool, 2 tools, or 2 languages.
Okay. Yay, more languages.
Oh, well, I mean, this is part of the reason why so many characters have so many.
Yeah, that's true. Is you get these 2 additional.
Now, the usefulness of any of these tools or languages is campaign setting dependent. And some proficiencies have a higher tendency to be useful across multiple settings / playstyles than others. For example, the criminal thieves tools will be useful across most styles of play, be they dungeon crawl, city sandbox, political intrigue, etc. Basically, any setting with doors, chests, and vaults that are locked.
Yeah.
It's going to come up. While other proficiencies, such as the very same criminal's gaming set, may never see any useful application.
Yeah, what's that? Like cards or dice?
Or dragon chests.
Or dragon chess. Everybody's favorite magical pastime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantasy pastime.
Obviously, it is up to the DM and player to make something like a gaming set useful in story, but even then, it's not likely it will be integral to a campaign's progress. Unless it's a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque setting where where the very fiber of society has become structured around 1 skill and prowess in dragon chess or 3 dragon ante.
Right.
Which would be kind of fun. Like, I would play that game for sure just to see like what that campaign style would be.
Everybody that sits down to your dragon chess table has their own unique set of sanctioned pieces
yeah.
from like a dragon, like a, fucking Kaiba Corp.
Yep. I would play it.
I know a lot more about the Yu-Gi-Oh verse than I do about dragon chess. Which
That's true.
I
you
would
do.
remark,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd remark more about dragon chess, but I know I can't equate it exactly to regular chess because it's not that. And
I mean, okay, so my understanding is they detailed the rules of Dragon Chess back in like 1982 or some shit. And it's basically just 3 chessboards on top of each other. One represents air units, one represents land units, and one represents water units. I don't remember.
Underdarkers.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh God.
I'm sure the comments will be letting me have it.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
I was that when I didn't get anything you said. I just watched the comment section roll in. They're like, actually, it was 1982 and blah blah.
I
blah.
said 1982.
Oh damn it! See, oh, and then Brian said it again. It's actually 1981 in November. Close, but no cigar. Try again next time, guys.
Indeed. So next up, we get starting equipment. Now, starting equipment from both class and background only comes into play if you are not using the option to give each character starting gold to go shopping with instead, which is what I generally try and do. So I've never actually really used the background and class starting equipment. It's just never been something I really utilize.
I always well, I guess you know, if you want your session 0 to take a lot longer, that you can watch everybody spend their gold on whatever starting equipment they want.
Yeah, I don't watch them, but
it's hard to like, you know, if you're not upfront with your players about what, like, hey, this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing. Like if they're in the dark about that and they're just like picking items for, you know, whatever they think might come and then get burned on it later, like picking spells that don't work out. You know, it's
right.
Yeah, I just take the pack.
The pack's great.
That's me.
Yeah, the pack is fantastic.
Yeah, do you want to explore? You want to climb more? Or you want to like have more regular stuff? You want a shovel? What do you want? Like, pick the pack with the shovel.
Indeed. So depending on your game, this mechanical aspect of backgrounds may just not be a thing in your game. But if it is, there is actually a fair amount of disparity between the values some backgrounds get in comparison to others, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. To use two extremes when it comes to gold value differences, the noble background comes with a set of fine clothes, a signet ring, a scroll of pedigree, and a purse containing 25 gold pieces, all coming out to a total value of 45 plus gold pieces. While the urchin background comes with a small knife, a map of the city you grew up in, a pet mouse, a token to remember your parents by, a set of common clothes, and a pouch containing 10 gold, coming out to a total of 10 gold and 5 silver. So like the most of the money is actually in the pouch. Everything else you own is only worth 5 silver.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, you know, it makes sense. A noble, even an estranged one from their estate, likely has more resources and wealth than someone who went from being an urchin to an adventurer. Again, so it's not really a criticism, but it's something to note. In the end, outside of selling your starting equipment outright, both these sets of starting equipment are really RP and story building tools rather than mechanical ones.
Yeah.
And in that regard, they are of, in my opinion, pretty equal value.
Yeah, the role play stuff here is what's really important, like between a noble and an urchin, right? Because if you're a noble, you need to act like it, or that's your background. So you were a noble, but you still have all your stuff on you. So now what? You're just session 1 going to sell it for swords?
Right. No, it has way more value than what you could actually get for it on the market, for sure, because it's going to give you access to places.
Right. And if you're, you know, these backgrounds, they're going to be used in your story, hopefully. So you'll have like noble obligations that you may or may not be fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think both the urchin and the noble background have more long-term value to the character than some other backgrounds actually get. The pedigree scroll, the clothes, and signet ring can likely come into play from early game to end game, depending on the NPCs and organizations the character is dealing with.
Can you imagine your fucking like parents' ward showing up like,
yeah,
wear your fine clothes, boy.
Right.
Gone.
Right.
Sold them.
Gone?
And then he beats the shit out of you and your character like dies. Like, okay.
I mean, I don't know about that.
You're getting dragged back home, son.
Damn.
Yeah.
The same, I feel, goes for the Urchin City map in a city sandbox campaign. Meanwhile, the Fisher's fishing tackle, a net, and favorite fishing lure or oiled leather wading boots, a set of traveler's clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gold pieces have all pretty much outlived their usefulness once the group gets out of early level play. Like, none of that is going to be that useful because, I mean, unless
survival campaigns, it will be like,
yeah, okay,
food.
there we go. Like that's a niche thing that usually isn't most campaigns.
No, it's not. You know, you're stopping in town and getting your rations or whatever, and you're hand waving it, right? Like,
yeah, and honestly, if anybody wants to pick up these things at the store, they could do it for almost less than 2 gold pieces.
True.
So, like, I don't know. That not all backgrounds are created equal when it comes to the sweet RP starting equipment.
Yeah.
So again, all of this is campaign and group specific, but these are definitely the thoughts that I go through when choosing a background. The final mechanical component of backgrounds is perhaps the most enticing of them all, the background feature.
Yeah, this is the meat and potatoes.
Background features are usually 1 to 2 paragraphs long and are useful but often circumstantial benefits that can have some pretty impactful effects on a campaign. They also tend to be passive in nature and require an active effort on the DM side of things to make room for them or properly utilize them when they come up.
Okay.
Many background features have an effect on what NPCs a DM has to be ready with at a given moment, or even dictate how certain NPCs might interact with the character. Background features are one of the very few times 5e mechanics actually have something to say about the RP aspect of the game. So small tangent time. This idea that backgrounds literally are rules that weigh in on RP is not a criticism. 5e actually has more RP mechanics than 4e D&D had, for example.
Okay.
Having more complex, detailed social mechanics, downtime mechanics, etc., does not necessarily translate into a better experience. It really comes down to preference and style.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I see a ton of discourse online on this topic. I think when it comes down to it, there's not really a right or wrong way to approach it. No matter where you land on the spectrum between absolutely zero RP mechanics and every single aspect of the game being mechanically spelled out, you will not be able to please everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's because there are pros and cons to either side of this spectrum. Some people really enjoy the unfettered free form RP approach. This is honestly, in my experience, has always been D&D's philosophy when it comes to RP mechanics. The rules for combat and exploration are extensive, while the RP stuff is left for the players and DM to decide. It's nothing new when it comes to D&D.
Right. Now, would RP mechanics also include, like, charisma rolls?
No, I mean, that kind of counts. But, I mean, when we talk about charisma rolls, I mean, it's pretty bare bones. It's like if you roll well, theoretically, it should work, but it's up to the DM to decide how and why it works. Yeah,
it's all about what table and how they're going to deal with the roll. Like, do you have to say a thing and then your DC is set on the thing you're doing, or is it like, you know?
Well, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, if you want to demoralize a foe, it is a very specific check against a very specific defense, and a very specific thing happens if it succeeds.
Okay.
Like, the DM doesn't, outside of, you know, not following it as written, the DM does not get to decide how it plays out.
Right, yeah. But Pathfinder has that.
Pathfinder has that, and they have it for almost everything.
Right, they really do. After I was reading a lot more into those types of things, everything is spelled out in Pathfinder.
Very much so, which is my next paragraph here. Some folks want more foundation and structure to build their RP around. That's understandable. I seriously recommend Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Yeah, it really though.
Yeah, it's thus far the only system I have a good understanding of that has some serious structure around social interactions, skill interactions, and other non-combat, non-exploration activities. Like, they really, do you want to do a thing? Well, there's an action that is that thing, and you can use that action and just follow the rules as written, and that's how it'll play out.
Yeah, I feel like if you tried to, like, I think I've said this in past episodes relating to Pathfinder, is if you really want to parse out, you know, what should happen and think it out logically, you'll probably come to the conclusion that Pathfinder wrote down anyway.
Right.
At least that's what happened with us. Well, what if I tried to D&Dify this, like, just thinking about it while we search for it? I was like, we could do this, this, or this, and this could happen. And we get there, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what they're saying to do anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. So back to background features. I really like the RP mechanic benefit a lot of background features give. It makes backgrounds stand out in contrast to class and race options. Some of these types of features that I like in particular are Acolyte. So as an Acolyte, you command the respect of those who share your faith, and you can perform the religious ceremonies of your deity. You and your adventurer companions can expect to receive free healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith, and there's more details. Mm-hmm. But, like, you know, if you're a cleric or paladin or any class, and your religion is that major of a player in your backstory in your life, how cool is it that you have the ability, like, to probably know where chapters are in any given city.
Yeah.
And to be able to go there, interact, and expect, you know, shelter and healing and all that other stuff. And, like, if you're really into RP, like, you can really start role playing with your DM on a lot of these NPCs that the DM probably would have otherwise never even thought up.
Yeah. And, like, you know, the company you keep is going to play into that too. Like, is there evil rogue in the party? You know, or
Yeah, that's true.
You
That's
got to
true.
vouch
They
for
don't
them
want to
and
go.
hope they don't fuck it up.
I know, right? Seriously. Speaking of rogues, there's the criminal contact feature from criminals. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you.
Yeah.
It's like if you pull this and it's applicable to the situation the party's in, as a DM, it's like, okay, well, now I got to come up with some corrupt caravan master, right here. Let's go.
Yeah,
but that's
I do
fun.
like doing that.
That's super
that type of
cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
And also, like, once again, party composition. Is there a narc in the party?
True.
Can you pull this off? Will this guy actually help you, or like, are the cops going to show up?
Yeah, exactly. And then my last example here is by popular demand, the entertainer's background feature. You can always find a place to perform, usually in an inn or tavern, but possibly with a circus, at a theater, even in a noble's court. At such a place, you receive free lodging and food of a modest or comfortable standard. As long as you perform each night, you get this. In addition, your performance makes you something of a local figure. When strangers recognize you in a town where you've performed, they typically take a liking to you. And I think if I was to take this background feature, I would also try and push my DM. It's like, hey, can I make some tips every time I do this? Because
I
like
think
that makes sense.
It really depends on who's in, and then like the, Name of the Wind does this really well with Kvoth. He has a deal set. Spoil very light spoilers for that, I guess. Well, is anything spoilers? There's never gonna be a third one, but
he's coming out with a book actually set in the same world. I think at the end of this year,
and it's not the Stone Doors.
Nope. It is not. I know, but anyways.
Every Google search I make a Google search on Patrick Rothfuss like every 3 months or so, just quarterly, just check in.
Yeah,
and it's never good news.
Nope.
It's like, hey, I'm going to release a chapter. Psych.
Yep.
Sorry, Patrick. I hope you're well.
You will reach your final state of Rothfussdom is when you just forget about it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But
you're right.
But continue with your spoiler because I think it's a good one. I know.
Yeah, Kvoth is in a bad spot, so he lodges up somewhere and has musical abilities and has to perform every night to keep his lodging. And then patrons come by and like, hey, I love you. Like, fucking play that shit I like. Here's a piece of gold.
Yeah.
You fucking twat.
Yeah, there's another thing that happens in that book where like people like to buy him drinks.
Yes.
And when he's had enough to drink, he will order some pre-established drink that him and the owner of the tavern know about.
Yeah, water.
That really just means water.
Yeah.
So the person feels like they're doing something nice for the performer they like, and him and the owner just split the difference on the money.
Yeah, which is clever.
Yeah, very clever.
Yeah, a lot of his successes are cleverness. But yeah, that can apply to you.
Absolutely.
But how long are you going to stay at the tavern? Like a couple days?
Yeah, I mean, typically, well, it just depends. There really are plenty of campaigns out there that are city crawls that you're just in the same city.
That's true.
So,
like if you're doing a yawning portal thing or like going into the Mad Mage, you're gonna be living somewhere nearby. Maybe you live at the tavern doing this type of thing. That could definitely be a thing.
Absolutely.
City game for sure. Good
yeah,
point.
and home-based taverns are kind of a trope, and they're a cool one. They're one I've actually never really gotten to experience, but I've always think they sound fun. So I don't really have much more to add when it comes to background features. I just think they're really cool, and the obviously most fun part about backgrounds in general. I encourage players who have not ever made much use of their background feature to keep it in mind when playing and bring it up when applicable.
Yeah.
It can have some major effects on the entire campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to forget. Also, like, I don't know, like you also don't want to blindside the DM too badly where they're like, oh, fuck, I got to come up with an like NPC right now.
Right.
Maybe you guys come up with that ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean that's always open communication and stuff is always nice. Like,
yeah. I think for us, I tried to write in some of that stuff myself for you.
Yeah,
like,
which usually
hey,
I'm
use
fine
it or
with.
don't.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, just to go back to Super Quest Saga,
our actual sci-fi campaign that you should go check out.
One of my favorite NPCs, Fred Lowe, only exists because of your criminal background.
Right? Yeah, he was my criminal underworld contact.
It was hilarious.
Did I name him or did you?
I named him because I don't think you came up with a name on the fly, and from early on in the campaign, it was a very Outlaw Star inspired thing, and Fred Lowe is nothing like the Fred Lowe from SQS, but Fred Lowe from that anime.
Names,
they just share names. I just took that name because I thought it worked.
Oh yeah, you definitely named him then. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next thing that all D&D 5e backgrounds provide are 4 suggested characteristic tables. Now these are purely optional to use. These tables can be rolled on or picked from and provide 4 different types of characteristics that you can apply to your character. These 4 types are characteristics are your character's ideals, flaws, personality trait, and bond. Now, full disclosure. Not only have I never used these tables for any character that I've ever built, I have also pretty much never even used the ideals, flaws, personality trait, or bond section of my character sheet before in my life. I've just never felt the need. By the time 5e came out, I was already a D&D veteran of 5 years. Detailed character concepts fall off me like leaves off a tree, so I never needed the extra structure for the inspiration. That being said,
Yeah.
I think including these tables on backgrounds as well as those sections on the 5e character sheet is an absolutely fantastic idea. I imagine a ton of new players utilize them and find them super helpful in fleshing out a deeper, more real feeling character. I know my first 2 characters back in 4E days, they were basically no personality cardboard cutouts of archetypes I was familiar with rather than actual characters. I was completely lost on the RP portion of D&D for like my first 6 months of playing at least. And you got to remember, we didn't have, like, me and my buddies, we all got into it together. There was no DM to show us the ropes.
There was no Dungeoncast to reference.
There was no Dungeoncast to reference. I had to make it. We had to make it.
It's true. And then I had the benefit of playing under you, who had gone through those tribulations early on.
Yeah, we dove right into the RP basically from day one.
Yeah, it was a core tenet of like playing the actual game involved that sort of thing. So, I mean, I had some of these things written down, but they became like, they changed, you know, they're like, oh, this is what it's actually like when you start getting your toes wet. And like, those things changed. Like I discovered who my character was through the role play,
right?
Through like experience in game. And then, you know, you write it in pencil, right? So
exactly.
You can erase
That's
it and change
exactly
it. Just like don't be changing shit without telling your DM, you know, like, hey, this bond that never came up, like, can I change it to be this person, or can I just add this person and will that person ever, you know, figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, those leave blank space to change it.
If 4E, again, that's where I learned back in 2009 or whatever it was. If it had tables like these for the characters, you also have to remember, like I bought the player's handbook and monster manual. Those were the first 2 books that we got, and there was only class and race. There was no background or theme or anything. That came out in later books, and there's absolutely like 0 suggestion for this. The same way there are these tables, but if I had these tables, I would have used them, because I would have been like, okay, yeah, let me roll. Okay, this is my guy, and I would have went with it, you know.
Yeah, these days it's like, for me, you know, my DM says, here's the world and the style of play we're looking for, and I say, okay, well, this is the kind of character I want to make for that style of play. And those things all just come along with that concept, you know, right off the bat. So if you're really starting from a blank slate, like if you guys are just going to start doing some dungeon crawls, figure out who these guys are as you play, you know, like, you know, you're in a tavern, now you're in a dungeon, go do the dungeon. Rolling off for these traits, if you can't decide, or just picking them off of the table, is like a great, okay, let me lean into this. Hey, I like this, but I feel like this character should do this, and just do that. You know, you're not like locked into any of this stuff.
No,
but if you need it to help you get going, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we use that philosophy a lot. Like, you and I don't really play to the tables and things, like you said, you mentioned you never use it. I like, it's built in when I start, you know, I don't ever get to this part, because I think this is like step 4 in the character creation process in D&D Beyond.
It is. You're not wrong.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it should be step 1.
Yeah, it kind of should. Maybe race, and then kind of like how Pathfinder does it, ancestry, background, and then class.
Hey, Pathfinder, good job. Because look, like, I was a level 0
before you were level 1,
and now I'm a level 1, so my background should be what I pick first. Like, I knew and know these languages. I have these tools from when I was doing this. Now I am an adventurer of level 1, and now I pick my stats for that.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a strange thing that is like step 4, like you said.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a short rest, and when we get back, let's build our own custom background.
We've returned.
Indeed, we have.
We have fucking background.
Indeed, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, we are. I did see what you did there.
Okay, I made a character.
Well, yeah, you did make a character.
I had to get to step 4 of the character creation process.
You
which
can
is the
just
background.
skip there. You can just skip
You can.
there. Yeah.
You
But we
can.
didn't.
No. I'm not a quitter or a skipper.
Okay, gotcha.
Corner cutter.
So I went ahead and before we started recording this episode, I made a few background titles to then build a background around. The 3 that I made or came up with were Academy Cadet, Reaver, and Magical Experiment. And Brian has chosen Magical Experiment.
Yeah.
So we have gone ahead and off camera made the Magical Experiment background.
Yes.
I guess for a little bit of like flavor text, is you were experimented on either magically or some supernaturally, and it has altered you in some drastic way. What did we give the Magical Experiment, Brian? You want to go over it?
Well, we need to know who this character is a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about this part. Okay, go ahead.
I base this off of my turtle, Sally.
Okay, all right.
Follow me on Instagram to see her. It's Sound Good Inc. So Sally is now a turtle. So
Yes.
they were a large tortoise, but they have grown in size to be a humanoid race.
Okay, wow. Okay, we're going. I like that.
It's just fucked them up. They can tell it's not like other turtles.
So I was going to say, in this world, maybe normal turtles don't exist.
Maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
I am the turtle.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
I do
cool,
like
cool,
that.
Cool. Okay. That's pretty much it. Nothing else matters.
Okay, all right.
But well, except for the nature of the experiment, the supernatural experimentation that was done on me made me disfigured and like not accepted by society. So we're basing our background off that. So we went custom background, and you have to click this button that says configure next to it. So we took we called it Magical Experiment, and you can put a description in there, which Will's given you, and then you can pick from the description. There's a drop down that says 2 skills and 2 languages. So that's what we're going for, right?
No, we did two skills and then a tool and a language because you wanted
a tool and a language. Yeah. You're right. Okay, and then the background feature we went with was based off of the one from the haunted one, and then some of the background characteristics are going to be more of the urchin.
Yeah, that's true. Do you want to go over that feature?
Yeah,
Or can you not see it?
the haunted one.
Yeah.
No, I can see it now.
Okay.
The Heart of Darkness says, those who look into your eyes can see that you have faced unimaginable horror and that you are no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. Unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them, they will even take up arms to fight alongside you should you find yourself facing an enemy alone.
Okay, so I like this. This is like people could see that you were an innocent that was experimented on, and you may look horrific, but it's because of the horrors you've seen.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault that you're a monster. Cool. I think that's a good fit. And what did we pick for skills?
So for skills, we got Arcana, based off of like the
magical
experience magic
yeah.
stuff. So now you know what to look for, I guess. And then also Intimidation.
Because you're just so
If you want to turn it on, you can.
You can. I like that. I like that a lot.
Motherfucker, I'm the haunted one. You're gonna never fuck with me. I'll fuck with you. For the tool, we're gonna go with a disguise kit to kind of help curb the blow of your look.
Of your face.
You can sort of exist more normally in society if you have
He's
to.
got the ugly. Sorry, SpongeBob. reference. So anyways,
We love those here. What language? We're gonna pick an exotic language. So abyssal, because we like demon shit here.
Yeah, I think the exotic language is a good choice because, like, the nature of your experiment maybe it suffused you with the essence of one of the planes, right?
Yeah, some Baphomet style stuff.
Yeah.
This is
I
coming
like
up
that.
a lot lately.
It,
I know it's Baphomet.
he should come up. Baphomet should come up more.
Yeah, he should.
I miss him.
Not as much as Demon Gorgon.
Shout out to Demon
to Demon Gorgon.
All right. What else do we got for this background? We did the feature. We did the skills, the tools. The
Yeah. So
language.
then the sort of role play aspect of it that it gives you, the what was that third thing? It was the background characteristics. So that's
okay.
the part that brings up the table of suggested characteristics, and I was going to pull from the urchin table. So let's just roll some fucking
All right,
dice, bro.
let's do it,
You got
man.
a D8 handy?
Do I? I did. When
I know. We
played
just
our
put,
campaign.
we played
earlier.
before this for an actual
For
play
like
thing.
4
We're recording
hours,
for
yeah.
Patreon, and like we packed it all up. So now I'm busting it out again. So okay, I've got my D8. I'm gonna roll it for the first table. Personality, choose 2. So I'm gonna roll 2 D8. So for the first one, I got a 1. So it says, I hide scraps of food and trinkets in my pockets.
Just in case.
And then for the second one, I got a 2. So I ask a lot of questions.
You just want to make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
Is it safe here?
So that
Is it okay? He made a funny face. Is that normal?
What are you using to eat your food? I just eat it straight out of my pocket with my hands.
Fresh leavings, man.
A fork, you say? All right. So the next table is that was personality traits. I chose 2.
Nice.
Now I'm on to ideals, which is a D6.
Okay.
I'm just assuming I choose 1. I rolled a 1 on the D6.
Maybe
Shit,
you're rolling
awesome.
bad or low or okay.
I don't know. It's random. Doesn't matter. On a 1, respect. All people, rich or poor, deserve respect.
Oh, you're a very respectful being. I like
Yeah,
it. You may
yeah.
be a little gross, but you're respectful.
I got disrespected bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that to
You don't want to
anyone
make
else.
anyone feel the way you felt when
Right.
that happened to you.
Yeah, and that's cool because I went with I think that worked out because I went with like a neutral good character when
Right.
I was developing it. So there are evil and chaotic options on here that might not work so well. So for the bonds, that's the next table. I'll roll a d6. I got a 5. I wanted to escape my life of poverty by robbing an important person, and I'm wanted for it. That's not very respectful.
All right, I think this could be reflavored though. Maybe it's I wanted to explain. Like, I wanted to escape the place of my magical experimentation, and now that I did, I'm wanted.
Oh, like they
Yeah.
put a fucking warrant out for my arrest.
Yeah. So they made it seem like you did something bad when you haven't.
Yeah.
That mad scientist, he wants you back.
Yeah, it's not the 200 pieces of gold pouch I took when I left.
Yeah, it's not that.
No.
As a matter of fact, you didn't know what money was when you left.
No, it just looked shiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the way it jingled as I ran.
Exactly. All right, cool. I like this already. This is great. What's next?
Flaws.
Oh, no. Okay, we can't be perfect.
Here's a D6.
We are flawed.
I rolled another 5.
Okay.
It's not stealing if I need it more than someone else.
Okay. No.
That makes total sense.
This works though because I feel like you're probably an amnesiac, so you're new to the world, and it just it does make sense. You're like, but they don't need it like I need it, and I need it or I'll die.
Yeah,
so
like that SpongeBob episode where he goes to Sandy's bowl.
I need it.
I need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Was that the last one?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. We didn't have an ideal or a bond.
No, the bond was I escaped my life of poverty by robbing an important person, and I'm wanted for it.
Okay. So your bond is the mad scientist trying to get you back.
Yeah, bonds aren't always good.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah. And my flaw lines up with that really well.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah.
Dude, I was kind of like, whatever about the urchin tables, but no, they came together. That was a good pick, dude.
Yeah, they did. The dice came through for us
and
this
it
time.
fit it very well. So this essentially was the urchin characteristics with the haunted one feature, and then some custom picks on the skills and tools.
Yeah, so since we're doing background, and this is part of the background sheet, there is a whole section below that is character details. It includes your alignment, your faith, and your lifestyle. So I went ahead and chose neutral good. My faith is the turtle deity, whatever that may be in this world.
The turtle god.
I wrote turt deity.
Okay.
I'm living a poor lifestyle, so I get 2 silver pieces a day to kind of stabilize yourself. You know, I'm keeping food in my pocket. It can't be that great.
Yeah.
Physical characteristics: hair, skin, eyes, weight, age, gender.
That's all specific to your character,
Yeah.
not so much the background.
I got no hair. I got scaly skin because I'm a turt. I got beady black eyes because I'm a turt. I'm 7 feet tall because experiments. I'm 320 pounds because I'm eating a lot of food out of my pocket.
No, it's the experiments. It's got to be.
Also experiments. I'm 15 years old because I'm a teenager.
Oof, man, that scientist, man, super ethically questionable.
Well, like I was a regular turtle before.
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
I mean, it's still, you're right.
Yeah, it's
they're
still-
ethically questionable, but
Yeah.
not for that reason.
You're right.
I just happen to be 15. Turtles live a long time. They live like 100 years.
They live
or
a
some
very
shit.
long time.
Well, tortoises do. The ones that I have.
Yes,
I have
yeah,
Sally in my
absolutely.
backyard. So I'm a female for the gender. A teenage, like mutated. I don't know. I picked
Turtle.
monk as my class.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a
Yeah.
good pick.
Maybe put like a ninja spin on it. I don't know. For personal characteristics, it logged them, the ones I added. That's cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then notes for anything down below that you want to add, like organizations, allies, enemies, backstory, or other. Obviously, some of the things we came up with in our talk here about this character would show up there, and I won't be typing them in because they're logged on the recording.
Indeed, they are. Well, was there anything else you want to add to backgrounds, custom or not?
No, I think that pretty much takes care of it. Like, okay, so we have all that established. Now it's time to pick me up and drop me off in an adventure, right? As long as you've assigned your stats, which I did in like step 2 or whatever.
Yep, right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, let's get ready for a long rest.
Oh, well, do we want to go over my stats? I have them.
No, this is a background episode. This is not an ability score, class, or race episode.
Okay. I dumped stat intelligence.
Nice.
All right. Long rest time. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Long Rest. This is the part of the episode where we talk about what is always in the background of this show, which is you, the listener, and how much we love you. Thank you guys so much.
We do, in fact, love you.
Doesn't exist without, well, yeah, it would. But it's a lot more awesome with you guys on board. So thanks a lot.
Indeed. I don't know if we would have got to this many episodes without them on board.
No, maybe not. Like the momentum train does roll here on the Dungeoncast.
Yeah, I think episode 100 might have been the finale.
if no one fucking listened.
No one listened,
yeah, I'd be like, okay, man, it's actually a lot of work and no one's fucking tuning in. So let's switch gears here.
We gotta throw the towel. Yeah,
I wouldn't be mad about it.
No.
But
well, that didn't happen, and here we are, episode 324.
340 something. I think this is 342.
Holy Christ.
Yes, episode 350 is coming, and we've got plans for it. Will doesn't know about them yet. Well, you kind of do. You just don't know that those plans are for that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just keep not getting around to talking about.
There's a lot to do, man. We're doing a lot. Speaking of doing a lot, big announcement. I'll try and hit the top of the next episode. But for all you people out there that are interested in the book, Star Seeker's Guide to Drakenstar, and you missed the Kickstarter, well, guess what? Here's your opportunity, because pre-orders are now open on BackerKit, which is just gone live like a few days ago per this recording. And if you are already a backer, you're going to get an email that's going to allow you to edit your pledge if you wanted some of the extra goodies that you didn't get the first time around. So there are options in there to just get the PDF, if that's all you want, the hardcover book, if that's what you want. You can also get access to our beta testing. So we have released 2, are about to release the 3rd beta test right now on classes, races, and equipment for this space opera science fantasy setting of Drakenstar. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get on the early access beta stuff, you can do it there as well. All you got to do is go to drakenstar.com. The link is in the description, but it's drakenstar.com. It'll take you to the Kickstarter. From there, you can pre-order the book. It'll take you over to BackerKit. Really excited about it. The book is coming along great. Some of the art that we are getting in is fantastic. We've written about half of the book at this point, and it's been challenging, but it's been really rewarding, and I cannot wait to show off what we've come up with to add to the game of Dungeons & Dragons. So again, check out drakenstar.com. And get your book ordered.
And special thanks to the people that help work on that alongside. Like,
yes,
I don't know, are we allowed to mention them by name?
I believe so. Yeah. So Daniel Gonzalez is essentially the co-writer of the book. He's writing around 50, maybe a little less than 50% of the whole thing. He's been
cracking at it.
Yeah, he's been invaluable and an amazing wealth of knowledge. So thank you, Daniel, and I look forward to working more and more with you.
Yeah, a lot of you from the Discord may know Dag.
Yeah, you very well might. Yeah, and then outside of the book, we are still doing the giveaway, our 50K giveaway. We are on the hunt for 50K subs on YouTube. If you are not subscribed and you enjoy the show, please go to YouTube and subscribe. We will be giving away, once we hit the 50,000 subscriber mark, we will be giving away a copy of Baldur's Gate 3, which is coming out in August, to one lucky subscriber who has subscribed, liked one of our videos, and left a comment on any of these videos. So yeah, get in there, help support us on YouTube. We're so close to a really big milestone with 50K, and Baldur's Gate 3 is looking kick-ass. I'm going to get a copy myself probably, and I'd be happy to get a copy for one of you guys.
Yeah, we may not hit the 50K by August, but we're still promoting it. You know, like it could take. Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Although I hope we do hit it by August.
I do. It's possible. It's definitely possible. It's not within reach at all, and it'll be around that time. We just you know who fucking knows? Who fucking really knows? But yeah, and did we mention Leith as well?
Yeah, the book has a whole team of people. We have multiple artists. Our editor, Leith, has done an amazing job. has essentially taught me many of the things I did not know about writing a book. I'm a pretty talented writer. I love writing. Writing is a big thing that I do, but I've never written a book, let alone a book that is semi-educational. Like, it has to be, we're talking about rules and mechanics and stuff. I've never written anything like it before, so I'm learning a lot. And not only has Daniel taught me a lot, but Leith has taught me enormously.
And obviously, big thanks to Mariko.
Indeed, who's also one of our editors, continuity editor, because remember, this book is based off of the podcast Super Quest Saga.
Yeah, please check that out and go check out the backer kit. And if you missed your opportunity on the initial Kickstarter, now's your chance. And in celebration of the drive to 50K, sorry, I'm coughing a whole bunch in this long rest, but in celebration to the march to 50K, we're also going to be reading a lot more YouTube comments instead of reviews.
I like that.
But we really want to push that, guys. If you're listening to the show and you haven't reviewed the podcast yet, please go do so. I really appreciate it. And with that, we're going to start reading some Patreon shout-outs. Did you think we were going to forget? Sometimes we do.
Sorry.
But we're going to do them right now.
We make up for them as soon as we remember.
That's right. Like this time. No, I think we had one extra episode in between this time.
Yeah, that's exactly
here it is. Get ready for everybody that came to Patreon. We got Robert Reed.
Thank you, Robert.
Robert Reed has upgrade. What do I do for upgrades? Anyway, the upgrade. I'll just do the upgrade to the point.
Robert, you upgraded. Thank you, man.
Annual subscriber. Robert Reed. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Appreciate that. Alejandro M. Ramos.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Into the Omega tier. Welcome to the tier Omega. There is going to be some new content dropping for that. I'm about to finish another game. So.
Sweet.
And then we got Patrick Shoop, also into the tier Omega.
Thank you, Patrick.
And then we got Kirkus Hera.
Thank you, Kirkus.
Woo. Woo. We got Connor.
Thank you, Connor.
And we got Christopher Yarsowich.
Thank you, Christopher.
And then we got Ryan Dendariarina.
Thank you, Ryan.
Woo. Woo. Alan Levin.
Thank you, Alan.
And we got Adam K. Gates, annual subscriber.
And we got
Bartimaeus Carbulo 6684.
Thank you, Bartimaeus.
Hell yeah, Bartimaeus. Malagra.
Thank you, Malagra.
Who's now an annual subscriber.
Annual subscriber.
I got Cade 5933.
Thank you, Cade 559333.
Damn. Thanks, Cade. Awesome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Ryan Ramirez.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks,
Annual subscriber.
Annual subscriber, Ryan Ramirez. We got Mark Oliver.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark Oliver.
Thank you, Mark.
They use pounds. Jordan Seo.
Thanks, Jordan.
I think the J is like the, yeah. I hope I got that right. Chase McClay.
Thank you, Chase. Annual subscriber.
Annual subscriber, Chase McClay. Z-Fan Zyler.
Z-Fan. Thank you, Z-Fan.
Upgrading to the woo tier. Woo. Woo. And then Hayden Vanda Werfhorst.
Thank you, Hayden.
To the tier Omega. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's everybody. We did it.
All right. Thank
Thanks.
you guys for jumping on. Hope you guys are enjoying the bonus content on there. More is always to come.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the early access to Unhallowed, which we will be getting to you guys as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's getting close. That's what we were doing before this recording, is recording a bunch of Unhallowed, which went well. And thank you to all the people on Patreon that continue to vote and do episode suggestion topics and chime in on things. We really appreciate all of the collaboration work that we're doing there. If you want to be a part of that, you can always just like email us or go into Discord and talk to us there, just make suggestions there. But your voice will ring quite more vibrantly in our Patreon.
Quite sonorously.
Yeah, sonorously. And with that, I think we can call it a game.
Let's call it a game. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
The Dungeoncast.